we have those encampments here now, and it's a big problem here, and it's because we as a people don't take care of each other as well as we should, and there is some drug abuse, and there is some stuff like that, but uh, it's interesting that if that people will give you a banana if you're down there or whatever, and I think it's great, and I really applaud you for working the way you're working and doing what you're doing. It is really outstanding. I would say, by the way, we're talking with Richard Blank. He is the CEO of Costa Rica's call center. They do everything under the sun, from web design to everything else. You can go to Costa Rica callcenter.com, and you can get all the information about Richard, his team, the folks that are there. Because I'll tell you, I am as a human, and by the way, you're one of the most human people. And by the way, that's a huge compliment. You're one of the most human people that I've ever met,
Thank
and
you,
I
pal.
really appreciate you. And would you come back so that we can have more of a conversation about other stuff and more about this?
Anytime. I'd love to be a guest that comes back, a reoccurring guest on a TV show. It's almost like Larry from Three's Company. You got to have me on a couple scenes. So
I
I'd definitely love to come back.
Absolutely, because the way that you word things, the way that you respect people and stuff, is it can be really helpful and energizing to other people who may want to do the same thing but just don't know how.
Well, let's break those stereotypes. A CEO can be one that's empathetic. Someone can take the chance and move abroad, but I make it look easy. My good friend, I started my business at 35. I wish I was a teenager that was a whiz kid or a genius in my 20s, but I'll be forthright with you. After working at my friend's call center for 4 years, I learned the business, but I wasn't mature enough. It took me till my mid 30s to have impulse control, maturity, and enough money saved where I was responsible for those contracts and job stability. And also, I didn't take a loan out. I don't have a partner. I don't pay interest. I did slow and steady. I first started renting a seat at an open air blended call center. Then after a couple of years, I rented space and built out 150 seats and bought the equipment. After 6 years, I saved enough money to purchase and build my 300 seat center. So it's more of the tortoise, not the hare. It's grandma telling me if you can't pay for it in cash, don't do it. And it's also me saving enough acorns for the winter so I could weather storms. I wish it was bells and whistles and shortcuts and exciting, but it's not. It's being very responsible and taking your time and just making sure that you are fulfilling the needs of these agents by giving them their job stability. And in this industry that's so competitive, especially against Amazon, the best thing that I can do, once again, is, as you say, just have these sort of ethics and put my best foot forward.
And you don't owe anybody any money, and
None.
which means that your business is growing slower, but in order, sometimes, sometimes in order to get really revved up and to really take out a big loan and then grow it and stuff, you may have to at one point in time compromise your ethics and to do things that you don't otherwise wouldn't otherwise do, because you're chasing the almighty dollar at that point. You don't have to do that. So it must be really freeing to be able to be an employer of 300 plus people and their families, and to buy jukeboxes and things, and to have a happy life, even if you're not a multimillionaire or a billionaire.
Well, it made the most sense. I wanted to sleep at night. And imagine if I lost an account, I don't want to be pissed off on the floor and then, stressing about it. And it was very simple. As long as I was making my margins, renting this seat made sense. Then after you got to 4 dozen agents, it doesn't make sense to spend $5,000 a month to some guy when I could have my own place and buy the equipment and build it out. And instead of buying brand new, computers can be excellent secondhand. And a lot of the call centers were going out of business. So they bought it new. I pretty much got it with the wrapping on it, even though it's secondhand. It's not out of the store, but it's pretty much brand new with the furniture. And also, since I am a guest here and you look at me in my suit, there's a very good chance I might charge 20% more. So I would have local representatives for me with connections that would go and get me the best prices and bring me things. So you got to build a team around you. You can't do it all on your own. And you got to trust people to represent you and to speak for you. And have I been disappointed? A few times. But I've also been amazed by some people that have been with me over a decade and have grown with my company. I have two people with me that have been with me over 10 years. One is my chief technical officer. Another one's my floor manager. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I could bring someone in with 10 times the amount of experience. No way. These people wore my stripes. They walked with me. They know my culture. I will allow them to learn, facilitate their on-the-job training as long as it takes. I'll bring in specialists for the IT department, but there's no way I'm going to bring in a general manager or supervisor from another call center. No way. They need to earn their stripes. They need to work with me for a little while and have the respect of the agents. If not, it's just definitely not going to work out. And have I said we experienced that? Never. I never brought in an outside supervisor. Everything is always promoted from within.
It's the only way to go, because especially if you've got a unique culture, because you're going to have somebody that comes in that comes from a different style of culture, and they're going to try and change that culture that has been so successful. And that would, you'd probably have like 289 people at your house the day after you hired that guy saying, get rid of that guy. We can do, it's just amazing. So Richard, I really appreciate your time today. And it's been awesome. And I gotta tell you, my team is growing as well. And I've got a young lady that we just hired. She's an assistant. She's just dynamite. And you're right. You have to have the right people, and slow and steady. So
what is her name, your new assistant?
Her name is Demi.
Well, Demi's getting a positive escalation because I'm sure she's doing an excellent job.
Oh, she's fabulous. As a matter of fact, the ending that you're about to watch, she did yesterday. And
well done, Demi. All right.
Yeah, she's awesome. So, and we appreciate having her. And I subscribe to your philosophy of management and management style and company culture and philosophy. I tell you, I would be sitting at, if we were in the same room, I'd be sitting at your feet.
We'd be high-fiving each other and telling each other how great we are. But my good friend, water seeks its own level. That's why when I first started watching your podcast, it inspired me enough to write you. And here we are. And mind you this, there were a couple times back and forth because of scheduling conflicts and stuff. It was a mutual goal of ours, was to get on a show together and to share ideas. And we fulfilled that today. And so I am very humble, and I'm very thankful for your time and your audience's time as well.
We will do this again because we got more to say. And I really appreciate you coming here. And again, Richard Blank has been our guest. Go to Costa Rica callcenter.com. If you need remote services, he can provide you with all kinds of stuff. So it's just so much that I can't describe it all. So it's just really good. And by the way, thank you. You watched some of my other podcasts then.
You're good. You're addicting. And I can't wait to put this episode on my Facebook page with 98,000 chicos that are going to love to meet you.
I'm humbled. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time that you've spent with me, and thank God there are people out there like you. That's all I got to say.
You too, pal. That's why we're together, and we're going to keep on growing.
Absolutely. And thank you, Richard. And stay right where you are. I've got to do this, and I'll be right back. Hey, thanks for enjoying this episode all the way to the end. Please give us a like and subscribe to this channel. This has been a production of PositiveTalkRadio.net. Please visit our website, oddly named PositiveTalkRadio.net, for more details about us and our mission, which is to provide great positive programming designed to inspire us all. I'm Kevin McDonald, and I'm proud of these shows, and I truly hope that you'll like them and share them with friends and family. So on behalf of our entire team, remember, be kind to one another, because each other's all we